Okay, walking up to the front of this property, before I even walked inside, it's already starting to give me good feelings. You can see that they've replaced the roof at one point in time. And look, they've replaced the majority of these windows. They didn't manufacture these windows in 1980s. So this is a good sign. So let's go inside and start looking around and see what we are going to go find. This house is worth around $190,000, and your average rental income in this neighborhood is $1,500. One of the very first steps I like to do whenever I'm looking at an investment property is I like to look at what type of plumbing's in place. That's going to be one of your major repairs if you need it or not. So right here, 1980s, it was very common to be using galvanized water lines, and we do have that in this property. So that is going to be one of a major expense that you might end up having to work on this property. I'm in the garage, and I have a little bit of microbial growth right here. So we got some microbial growth here. We have a little corrosion at the fittings at the water heater, and it just little signs that kind of tell you that the lines are going bad. We don't know yet until we get to the attic. I don't know how I messed that up, but I recorded almost all my content in slow motion, so I get to do it again. So this should be fun. I'm headed up to the roof for the second time, and I'm up here with Mark. Let's go around. And this roof is actually in really good condition. Looks really nice. They've obviously just replaced it. Sorry for the wind noise, that the windscreen doesn't knock it all out. But some things that stick out to me if you're a future property investor or you're going to purchase this house is that they kept the tree trimmed. They didn't trim the tree back, which can easily damage the shingles on this property. And then also, they never replaced any of the flashing. So they replaced all the new shingles, but they left all the old rubber and the old metal flashing in place. So that can cause some problems down the line. Not now. You know, as a home inspector, we worry about performance, and the property is performing. It's not leaking, and it has done a pretty good job. Just some maintenance stuff, you know, paint the flashing that's rusted. But really, if you ever replace a roof, you always want to replace everything. So whenever you see a shower pan like this, these tile low-sitting shower pans, you can kind of see some grout missing in the corners here. These are known to leak, and what makes me believe that it's leaking is just around the corner here in the garage. Let's come in here. I mean, this was dry when I recorded it the first time. You have some microbial growth here, some rot, and then obviously water leaking. It was going to be a really cool video because there was going to be a storyline, be like, hey, look, it's dry. I have some evidence of water leaking around the shower. Look, I put water in the shower and it's leaking. Leaked on the inside and the outside of the property. Always recording these videos twice. It kind of messes with the actual whole storyline of recording a home inspection video, but you can come around the corner here and see the leaking around the base there. Another good sign about the property here is they replaced all the windows with vinyl windows, nice, and they replaced all the siding with fiber cement siding. So siding's been replaced, windows have been replaced, roof has been replaced, so this one's looking pretty good. We have a new condenser on the exterior, and look, it is a 2020. It is a Weather King. Weather King is a little bit off-brand. I typically see these guys last about 9-10 years as long as they're properly maintained. So we'll take a look in the attic to see if we see any more issues with this unit. We have PVC drain lines for your property. In the 1980s, the early 1980s, they used a lot of cast iron. Cast iron has been corroding and causing backups across the properties. And right here we have a PVC clean out, which traditionally means that there is PVC underneath the property. If you can't always determine that, so the best thing to do is to pull off the cap, but you just always want to look underneath, look in there to see if it's PVC all the way to the ground. And it is, so that's a really good sign. I mean, I can't predict that all the PVC plumbing is replaced, but it is a very good sign that that it has been. So, you know, PVC drain lines, a new AC unit, new roof. You know, it keeps getting better. And then look at this. We have a new panel box. That's really nice. I did open this up already. Don't need to do it again. It does have copper wiring. There just needs to be some small things in there, like what all home inspectors call out now is we're required to call out AFCIs, GFCIs, surge protectors, all that kind of stuff. But really, in the big scheme of things, the panel box looks in pretty good condition. I noticed that the soil was a little wet in this location. And the hose bib is dry. So you always want to pull back the insulation here, and you can kind of see that we have some algae and some growth. So we actually have a small leak around the shutoff valve. And then you can see that they've had issues in the past with the galvanized water lines, and they've been replacing them. And you can see here we have galvanized at the top. So leading to the story further on that we have some issues with the galvanized water lines. And let's head up to the attic area to see what we find. Okay, we are cooking up here. Whew. So a few things that we are automatically going to call out in an attic space, you have gray ductwork in place. These bad boys. This gray ductwork is a known defective product, and it typically causes air leaks across your attic system. But really, that's the small amount of your problems. A little bit of air leaks isn't going to cause, you to have issues living in the property or your renter, really. But it's going to be your galvanized water line system here. And you can see right over here, I'll zoom in a second, that we have some leaky, corroded water lines, and then also they've been putting clamps over some of the holes in the galvanized water line system. So there's evidence that it's failing, and if it's failing in one spot, the water lines are failing somewhere else. And if we look right over here in this corner, we have a pinhole leak that's showing up, and we have PVC lines coming in, so they've been replacing them as they're going out. So the current homeowner knows that they have water line issues. They just haven't spent the money and the time to replace it. So it's just, before you move into this one, since it's vacant, no one's living here, I definitely knock that out, because right now you're sitting on a ticking time bomb when it comes to these galvanized water lines. Okay, let's do the breakdown for this one. This house is worth around $190,000, and your average rental income in this neighborhood is $1,500 to $1,700. I just recently been able to find this information because I went and got my real estate license. I did this, and that's the reason why there's a gap in the vlogs, just because I want to buy rental properties for myself. So this is almost like a project within a project to see if this house is worth investing in. So the thing is whenever you're looking at the rental property, is you're just trying to beat the stock market gain. And so what we have here is a $190,000 property, $3,400 a year in taxes, $350 a year in maintenance fees. I have galvanized water lines that's going to cost me $2,000 to $3,000 to fix, and a shower pan that's going to cost $2,000 to $3,000 to fix. My normal income on this property per year is going to be around $14,000. Just in rental income, and we're going to lose our first year if we do not negotiate on this price or get it fixed before we move in. We're going to lose $5,000 of that. So we won't beat the traditional stock market gain just out of rental. Then we're going to hope for the market to go up. So that's what's nice about rental properties, is that even though our rental income is at what, like 5 to 7% per year, then we're also going to get our gain in value in real estate, which is a typically 10% gain. So you can win on this property. You just need to fix those issues so you don't run into major issues down the line. So I would say yes, this is a good investment as long as you get those items fixed. I try to say that in a very short time period. I hope it makes sense. If you like this type of breakdown, I'll do it again in the future. This is Chris with A Action. Please hit that like and subscribe button and follow on for the next one.